Hi there. Welcome to Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday night. What is it, May the 25th? May the 25th. Jam-packed. I've got the Fox Weather Channel on because as we do this live, if you're watching it live, millions will be affected by severe storms tonight. Oklahoma already has been, and into Kansas and Texas as well. And I'm watching that because my son is in Texas and his partner and my the mother of my children is there too. So we're watching that. I'll be looking this way from time to time. Severe storms blasting the plains right now, blasting the plains. But good idea to turn on Fox weather in the background as well. And let's see here if I can get this a little bit up further. Yeah, that's good. See my summer price chopper bag. Summer is kind of here. We go pretty quick from not really any spring or very little spring to right into summer. They say it's going to be record heat in New York this summer. Heat index of 115 in Austin, Texas, close to where my son lives. And I bet you, Richard Lyon, it's hot in Palm Beach. Hello, Richard and Vivian. Elizabeth Gilbert, welcome to you. Michael G is here. Should be a good one tonight. I do have a lot of stuff. I just don't know how to sort it all out, no lack of material. Linda Justice. Hello. Hi, Linda. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Melissa VD. Good evening, Jack and all. Barbara Kendall made it. She wasn't sure she would. Hi, Jack and a friend. Oh, I have plenty of friends here in the studio with me tonight. Let's see here. Even Stormy Daniels. How did she get here? I don't know, but somehow she snuck in. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. Sue Fenner, Angelina Duran Miller. Hello, all. Where are you from again, Angelina? I forget. Cheryl Larson. Good evening, Jack and everyone. Karen Gagnon. Hi, Jack and Karen. She was feeling kind of tired tonight. I did try to get her over here tonight. I hope you are both well. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Hunter Elgin is here. Hi. Nice to have you again with us, Hunter. Claudette. Good evening, Jack. Yes, pray for these people in the path of these tornadoes and what have you. They say this is going to be a very active both tornado and hurricane season. And we already know many places, including in Oklahoma, have been significantly damaged by hurricanes. And there has been some loss of life. Things are never going to be normal anymore. I mean, we always had storms, but it's on the increase. And so you keep everybody in their prayers. We don't usually get tornadoes here in New York. That's one of the benefits of living here, but I'm ready to head out. Cindy in South Louisiana. Good evening, all. Is the weather okay there, Cindy? Cindy with an I instead of a Y. Gene Phillips, hi, Jack and everyone. Praying for all in the line of the bad storms. Yes. Vicki Matthews, hi, Jack. Hope you are doing well. Glad to see you. 96 in Texas today, huh? I guess the heat index is different from that. It's what it feels like, right? Ruthie is here in Belton, Texas. We had a tornado on the ground and it tore up Temple, Texas, right next door to us. This happened on Wednesday. Oh boy. Yeah, as the extreme heat rolls into Texas, my son, that can cause all kinds of things, including golf size or baseball size, I should say, baseball size hail. There's a lot of hail out there tonight. Good evening, Debbie Pop. Jane Justice is here. Good evening, Jack. No rain here in East Tennessee. Nice day. Hope your health continues to improve. Justice is here. Good evening, Jack. No rain here in East Tennessee. Nice day. Hope your health continues to improve. Thank you very much. And Rose, looking good tonight. Hello, all from Massachusetts. Massachusetts, yes. Rita, lovely Rita Maid is here. I don't know where you are watching from, Rita. Why try your last name and butcher it? It's not that hard, though, is it? Ariga. No, there's an A in there. That's not right. See, I always butcher it. That guy, 6. Plot twist. Jack is Elvis. Well, last day's Elvis, right? Doris Sutton Schroeder. Hi, Jack and family. Doris and Jeff from Western Kentucky. How's the weather been out in Western Kentucky? Patricia Duval is here, daughter of Robert Duval. Hi, everyone from Michigan. We must win the state of Michigan. Let's get that back to sanity, because there's a lot of insanity going on in Michigan, and not from the good people, the great Americans that live there. Claudette says, these tornadoes are unbelievable lately. So sad. Richard Lyon, just earthquakes. We did have an earthquake, yeah, but I slept through it, Richard. I think I woke up briefly and said, oh, look at those trees are blowing. Another rainy day, and just went back to sleep. I think that's what actually happened. Karen told me all about it later. No big deal here in the Hudson Valley, you know. So weather is heating up down here, and at the bottom of the boat, I wish I had a boat that could heat up. So if you get a hole in your boat, you just use that Flex Seal, like the commercial, right? Ted Richards, not Mary Richards, is here. Gene, it's 61 here in Vermont now. 48 this morning, which was nice. Wow. Vermont is so unpredictable in so many ways, Ted Richards. So many ways. Neil, hey, Jack. This was close, Jack. I'm from Illinois. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you can still live in Chicago, you know, Rita, if you have a bulletproof vest and a helmet that covers your entire face. William Murphy. Hi, William. Again, I forget where you're from. Hello. Nice and sunny here in California, huh? Yeah, beautiful weather there. As the migrants roll in. I mean, it's like a parade. It's a parade, I tell you. Cheryl Everhart, hi, Jack and family, from Fernandina Beach, Florida. I told you, I always blow the name. Shepherdsville, Kentucky, says William Murphy. So we do have quite a few people from Kentucky, and you are in South Louisiana, huh? My goodness, there. Do they shoot movies down your way sometimes? Because it's always better when they're doing one of these what do you call them, Cajun type movies, if they actually go there, you know, and instead of trying to fake it. You're in the boot of Louisiana, huh? But that's okay. Haven't had rain, just getting hot. Yeah. Colin Mead. Who did I know? I knew a Linda Mead, same spelling. I believe there was an E on her name. I think I worked with her at the Sound of Life radio station. Linda Jolly, I worked with at Sound of Life. I was trying to think about that last time we were together. That's a nice name, Colm. Oh, you're from Ireland. Wasn't that great? Wonderful. We've heard from Ireland before, but see, you never know where in the world some people are watching. Heartland on edge for severe weather, they're saying right now. Tornado watch in Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. I'm glad not to see Texas on the list right now for that. My son has been very busy. He always loves it when I talk about him, so I, have to say something. He was working hard on Friday with a big truck, and he's probably going to get a regular gig again pretty soon. Henry Bradley, that's Shirley and Henry here in Arden, North Carolina. North Carolina, welcome to you guys. Patrick Vilas, hello everyone from the backyard bonfire. Really? Oh, send me a picture in my email, Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. I'd love to see the bonfire. I would. Yeah. Hi, Teresa. What's going on? Marianne Rossi, not Donna Rossi. We were going to meet briefly, at least, in Clarksville. This was it, New Jersey last week. And this was the shirt, Marianne Rossi, I was going to wear. This is my first time ever wearing this shirt. And I was going to wear it with my brown shorts and my new Skechers brown slip-ons, Mr. T said I had to get some Skechers slip-ons. There's always a T in Skechers, he says. I'm always in my Skechers. So I went down to the DSW shoe chain in the Galleria. Did you see my little video from the Galleria today? Not at the shoe store, but by the big bubble that had all these that looked like balls, but they were really balloons. They were doing some special things at the Galleria today. Kay from Kay Jewelers, also in Kentucky. Jack, loved the shirt. Thank you. Yeah, my first time. I mean, I'll tell you, Walmart this year has a really good selection of these No Boundaries line of shirts. I've got like 3 of them. They're only $12.99. So go get you one. Go get you one. Who says a woman can't wear a shirt like this? So I've got to stay away from these stores because, I see what I call YouTube shirts, and it's hard to, at that point, not buy it. Jeannie Thompson, hello, Jack. I love your shirt. Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Walmart, for an affordable price. They don't have any checkers around here much anymore. Maybe one checker and all these vacant ones. They're eventually just going to replace all those with self-checkout, I mean, if the stores have a store manager, I'm talking about the ones here. Down south, it's probably a whole different thing. I've never seen the store manager in the town of Walk Hill. Never once. Never any attempt to have public relations over there anymore, unless they happen to hire a really good person who cares and does it. Remember when they all used to meet? They'd show the commercial where they'd have like a little rally before the shift started, and everybody, we're just gonna, we're gonna serve our customers and let them know we're here for their needs. That went out the window. Bye-bye. And in many businesses, that would mean your business goes out the window, not Walmart. Every single one of those people that go out in the huff, I'm never coming back here. They're back in 2 weeks, $12.99. This would cost a lot more somewhere else. Get myself a nice pair of shorts, nice pair of jeans once it starts to get cold again. For like, if I want the cheap ones, I can get them for $10, but for a few dollars more, and I got the Lees, So Jim Cowan is now convinced Bob is king. It just took him a long time to realize it. If you and I had been on our toes, Jim, what's that? NVIDIA stock, is it? AI stock? If we had put $2,000 in NVIDIA in the year around 2000, Jim, we would now be multimillionaires. So now, I'm always late to the party. I'm trying to find low-priced AI stocks and see what I can buy, And of course, I made the mistake of clicking an interest online, and now every guy with a gimmick, every guy that wants to tell me tomorrow's hot picks is emailing me. It's clogged up. I'm going to have to buy myself a snake to unclog it, I think. Where am I from? I'm from the Hudson Valley of New York. New York, about 60 miles outside the city I never go to anymore because it's not safe. And as long as DA Bragg is letting the criminals go free and trying to convict a man of 34 felonies that at best would be a bookkeeping error done by his accountant. Give the misdemeanor to the accountant. He made the error. Trump wasn't watching that. Can't watch everything when you have that kind of an empire, you know. My goodness. So I know there's people, it's 15 minutes in. I haven't talked about Cotner, John Cotner. And Titusville, Florida. Titusville, Florida. How far is that from you, Richard? Skies are looking ominous there, I do believe. Linda Powell is here saying hello to Linda Justice. Linda Powell will only say hello to people who have the first name Linda. Bill Presley with 2 S's is here from North Carolina. I want to go to North Carolina very much. That's where my daughter is. So I want to go there very, very much. Please pray that I get to do that. Hi there, Jack and everyone. Happy Memorial Day for us in Canada. Is it already Memorial Day there? Not on a Saturday, right? If you don't do it on a Monday, it don't count. It don't count. Okay, John Cotner. Gene Phillips is casting a vote for that. I'll do the poll thing in a little bit. I really didn't know about John Cotner, I'll be honest. I did not know about it till people started talking about it. There's a few videos online from John Cotner. I have something queued up, audio, you know. I can't roll in live video. I wish I could. Also, we're going to talk about the movie Longing tonight, the new Richard Gere movie. That'll be later on because, my goodness, you know. Where do I want to start, you know, in talking about this? We'll talk a little bit about Graceland. We have a video up on that, but please watch my little short video called Surrounded by Balls. Surrounded by Balls. It's less than a minute because it has to be if it's a short, you know. And from the Galleria, I did it live from the Galleria this afternoon. Karen was over at the Cohen's Optical, and I said, this is my chance to capture the children having fun, being chased by what are really balloons inside this big bubble. Yeah. John Cotner has a video up here called John Cotner Mystery Man. Some would say that he was active until about 2011 when all of a sudden Pastor Bob Joyce started loading videos on YouTube. I'm keeping this up tonight because I did text my son. Nothing new from him. And nothing new there. One of Elvis's hits is the song Steamroller Blues. In the John Cotner version that's on YouTube, he is not on, as far as I can tell, he is not on my Spotify. A serious artist would be on Spotify. You know, they would make sure they were. So that I found that interesting. But he is on YouTube. You can see John Cotner, but it's usually just pictures of Graceland, pictures of Elvis. He gives the impression that he's Elvis, you know, that kind of thing. We do know that in the years that are missing between 1977 and 2011, if we should be right, we speak of possibilities, I could be wrong, that there are things people point to as, oh, well, there's Elvis right there, like Orion. This would be right after, say, Elvis came back from a 3 or 4 month rehab to get well in mind, body, and spirit, because he was near death, if we're right. And if what they said in the Phil Aitchison report, what Gail Brewer Giorgio reported, if that's all correct, then came the Masked Singer Orion. I would definitely think that if Elvis were back in the United States, that it wouldn't be long before he would get that itch. He'd want to find comical ways to reappear without them saying Elvis is alive and here he comes, you know. So if there was an Orion concert and Orion took a break and then Elvis came out with a mask, I wouldn't be at all surprised because that would be in, I think I would be correct in saying that's in the personality or even recording a track marked Orion, that kind of a thing. The same with John Cotner. I could see that Elvis would go through the persona of John Cotner. We don't know too much about him. I'll show you a few pictures which should tell the story. And I can only assume that's really John Cotner, you know? I listened very closely to both Elvis and John Cotner singing Steamroller Blues. John's version from the CD Golden Oldies, the Golden Oldies CD, is great, but it falls short of capturing the depth and the soul in the Elvis voice. He's a good singer. His imitation of the Elvis voice, although not bad, it misses the mark. When he needs to go to a higher octave, he compensates for his inability to do it exactly like Elvis by basically yelling the second time around, like when he has to go up high and I'm a steamroller, baby, I'm going to roll all over you. He doesn't have the sassiness. He doesn't have the sensuality that's in the Elvis voice to sound real sexy because what Elvis is saying, he gonna rock your socks off, baby. He gonna send you to places you ain't been before, you know. Um, so that's in the Mystery Man, and there's something else interesting in that Mystery Man, John Cotner uh, Mystery Man video. So I could definitely see Elvis Presley singing through. And I'm not saying that every time Elvis sings a song or sang a song, he has to sound exactly like he did before. Not just because he's gotten older and obviously, if Elvis was still alive today, he couldn't sound like he did when he sang Heartbreak Hotel or One Night with You. He couldn't, but you would still hear that it was uh, Elvis, and any singer can alter their voice. Say if a singer from much more recent wanted to alter their voice and not sound so much like Elvis, but it really was Elvis. I think Elvis is very capable of doing that, and that kind of creates the mystique. It increases the mystique, and people are scratching their heads. They don't know what to believe, and I think that's what maybe wanted, maybe wanted. Um, so that was my impression of Steamroller. Another very interesting thing that I found is Elvis's version of the Perry Como mega hit, "And I Love You So." Do you know I have played that song on the radio, and until this week, I always thought the song was called "And I Love Her So." And people ask me how I've lived till now. I tell them I don't know. I always thought that was the title of the song, and I've introduced it. And I bet you when I introduced it on the radio, I said that. I don't ever remember it occurring to me that the song was really called "And I Love You So." There is a song called "And I Love Her So." I found that on Spotify. I think it might be an instrumental. I don't know, Alice Warner. So welcome to you. Welcome to you. I don't want to miss people as I'm doing content. Um, was John Cotner the mystery man? Well, he labeled himself that, or whoever calls himself John Cotner has a video up on YouTube, John Cotner, the mystery man. And I'm going to play something for you because what he does is basically presents Elvis in pictures. And all right, let's play that now. I don't know how well you're going to hear this, but it's in the Mystery Man video. It's about the book we've been talking about. Pastor Bob Joyce has been said to be writing his life story. And it's also been said, a number of people have told me this in the email. The plan is that it won't come out until he passes away. So we had a poll. We had a poll. Do you think the book should come out now or whenever it's ready, or should they wait until the passing of Pastor Bob Joyce? And I don't have the results in front of me, but more people thought that it should be released now or as soon as it's ready to go. Okay. The other poll didn't get as many votes. Too late now. I won't see it, but I will give you those results tonight too. I will. So this is all I have for you is audio. This is supposed to be Elvis Presley. I listened really closely. He's explaining about someone that he's glad to be talking to, and he's talking about a book that will someday come out. Okay. I just don't know how well this is going to go here, but it is from a video named John, Jon, John Cotner, Mystery Man.
I've been asking a question by a lot of people. I says, are you ever going to announce you're still alive to all your fans? Well, you know, as I said one time before, it would be very silly of me to walk back into a lifestyle that I worked so hard to escape from. So, there's been a book in the works, and it's been some time now. And when I'm really gone, then everything that certain people know now will come out in the book. The people like this young lady here, that everybody's probably calling crazy, they're going to find out she was right. She's going to have pictures nobody else has. And all the people who believed all this time and were made fools of on television shows or whatever, they're going to find out they were right. They're going to get the last laugh. I've been working on a book about my life, and it's been going on for some time now. And it will be released, but it will be released when I'm really gone, because then I'll truly be free.
So there you go. That's from the video, John Cotner, Mystery Man, Secrets Revealed, My Way. You can find it right here on YouTube. I'm very thankful to YouTube for everything they supply for us. I don't know how that sounded, you know, but I wanted you to have a shot at hearing that here on the program tonight. Now, let's see here. See if there's anything I can respond to. Hi, Selena. Oh, we're talking about Larry, are we? I did want to say something about Larry, or to Larry, or whatever. Uh, hello, late but interested, says Alice Warner. Oh, there's the replay too. Hello, replay crowd. You're very important to us. You can comment in your comment section, and I'll get back to you, and perhaps others will as well. And Rita says she has bats in her belfry just like me. Like you, Bob Joyce is the one. He watched Elvis since I was a baby. My oldest sister loved him. I did too. The minute I heard his voice, I recognized him. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody has bats in their belfry. It's not just Richard. We all do. We all do. So we're talking about Larry Hogan. Larry put a video. I just watched it. I think I just watched that video. I put up a video saying people are saying he's Jesse Presley. Oh, do you know how many times I've heard people say that about Pastor Bob and other people? And the guy at the door at Graceland is Jesse Presley. Then they show an interview. See, there he is he's talking in the living room, and it's a guy with virtually no hair on top. Oh, it's white, and I guess he had a beard. There's no hair on top. Come on, Tanya, give me a break. And let's see here. So Alice has butterflies in her bell tower. Huh. Well, that's very beautiful, though. A bell tower full of butterflies. You're a butterfly, and butterflies are free to fly. Fly away, Richard, fly away. Someone shave my wife tonight. Sugar Bear. They shouldn't have done that, too. I'm way over the edge, Richard. Get me off this ledge. Yeah, I saw Larry Hogan's video. He was perturbed about people that, are talking jive. He stayed away from one name. I caught that. I don't blame him at all for it. But, he said people say this and people say that. Well, I came to realize that's a part of the turf when you're a creator on YouTube. Um, I wouldn't get too upset about it. You have the power to block if you need to. I never like to block. And I don't necessarily block forever. It's not that kind of a policy. Um, this is kind of a safe place for people who believe that Bob Joyce is Elvis. A few people here have the opinion that he's not. That's okay as long as it doesn't become a weekly argument, because then I start to hear from people that say it's not fun anymore. So, and now Larry Hogan has a growing channel. He's got plenty of space to say that. All I can tell you is I think Larry Hogan has a lot of talent, a lot of talent. The first song that he did that really caught my attention was his version of Born to Be Wild. He put his heart and soul into that song, and I loved it very much. And I've enjoyed other songs since then. I do check them out, even if I don't acknowledge my presence. I do check them out from time to time. So I have nothing but good things to say to you, Larry, as you head to 1,000 subscribers. You'll make it. You'll make it. It's all about how much product you put out. And it's very important that you started to talk to your audience. Just putting out a song only will take you so far. They build a relationship with you when you start coming on and sharing stories about your life and what have you. That's the way to do it. Get them to love you. Any talk show host that ever came out and said, "Welcome, I have this new show. I'm so glad you joined me. My first guest is." Then I'm talking about somebody like what's her name there, Katie Couric was like that. No, no, it worked longer for her than it worked for some because she has an endearing personality. But the reason Ellen became an institution is because people tuned in for Ellen. People tuned in for Johnny Carson. Oh, they wanted to see the guests too, but they were basically tuning in for Johnny Carson. And I'll say something about that when we talk about the Richard Gere movie in a little while. That's just out. Mr. Gere is working again. And where is the real Elvis Presley? Huh. Well, Shell, this is why it's time for you to get your London fog trench coat, your hat, your dark glasses, and you know where you have to go. You know what direction to head. You have your passport ready, don't you? Sure, you do. I know you do. Um, so, oh yeah, got to finish my story. Somebody remind me if they every time, every week, I find myself not finishing a story. Yeah, baby. Mutual, Oklahoma. Be careful. But that was earlier, so maybe Mutual, Oklahoma. Is that where Mutual Insurance is? I think it may be. Oh, that was Omaha, right? Mutual of Omaha. Yeah. Bruce 4227, not to be confused with Bob 1974, is here. Welcome, Bruce. Where are you from? They gave me a bracelet when I was there on my first visit to Bob's church. You know, people have told me that before, that there's jewelry sometimes. And then I said that to someone in an email because they were going to Bob's church, and it doesn't happen every week, you know. I mean, I guess Elvis didn't give out rings at every concert that he ever did, you know, and it was costume jewelry that Elvis was giving out. He's not stupid, you know. Um, but people love to have it, of course. Yeah, we get a lot of stories about people going to Household of Faith. I'd love you to tell me your experience, Bruce, in an email. Jack the Fair Guy, FAIR, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com from Owensboro, Kentucky. We are big in Kentucky. We got about 5 people watching from there now that I know of. Yes, Sue Fenner, I've heard of this. People getting jewelry. Now they're going to think, oh, that Willard guy, he is always a thorn. A thorn. Now people are coming here saying, where's the jewelry? I'm so sorry. But, you know, I didn't say it first. Nancy DeMarco, waiting on the storm here in Tulsa. You're living on tense Tulsa time, living on Tulsa time. And Don Williams is no longer with us, right? He's dead. And neither is Merle Haggard, but we're living on Tulsa time. It may skirt us. Will it be a mini skirt or a longer skirt? A more appropriate skirt. Patricia Spears. Yes, John Cotner was the mystery man. Well, I know so little about him. Let me get out this thing about this song. I never finished the story, right? I hate when I do that. So there's that song, and I love him so, and I love her so, and I love her so, and I love you so. See, that's the real title. I always said, and I love her so. Perry Como, here's Perry Como, and I love her so. Could have sworn it was that. But anyway, there's a song there. There's a part of the lyrics there where Perry sings. The grammatically correct way. Well, when Elvis Presley sings the song, and in more than one version too, he means to do this. And when John Cotner, you can say it's the same person. I have no problem with that. Elvis could alter his voice. He could be older under John Cotner. Who knows? I don't know. But the lyric is, I guess they understand how lonely life has been, but life began again the day you took my hand. But life began again the day you took my hand. Of course, Perry Como had the definitive mega hit with the song, and he said, I guess they understand how lonely life has been, but life began again the day you took my hand. That's the correct King's English, right? It's past tense. We're talking about something that happened in the past. So it's began, not begin. So I found it interesting that Elvis always says begin, and so does the version that's labeled John Cotner. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Richard, the lion-hearted, in Palm Beach. He'll just drift off, and all of a sudden I'll realize he's no longer here. He sneaks around. Maybe we should have him go to Benton in a trench coat. It might work if we do that. Yeah. Sandra Warren. Hello, everybody. Help! Jack on his algorithm. There is 119 folks here, only 49 likes. I got you now. Thank you. You're doing me a service, Sandra Warren. Not Jennifer Warren. It's the right time of the night for making love. Hit that like button. I believe Jack's started this Elvis and Bob Joyce thing. Well, no, I think I came late to the party because in 2018, I can tell you one person who beat me to it was Mr. Skutnik down there in what foreign country is he in again? Wasn't France, was it? Sweden? Switzerland? I can't remember. This was early on. And so I started looking into this topic, and then someone said there's two Bob Joyces. You should look into that. And I said, oh boy, here comes the tinfoil hat crowd. I should have never started this one, but I could already see that I had made the right choice, to be honest with you, in the amount of videos. Yes, please, 119 watching. Okay, I stopped looking at that because I've been so busy here thinking about what I'm going to do next. 56 likes. Please hit the like button. Please hit the notification bell. That would be swell. Replay crowd, same for you. Our biggest audience is in the replay crowd, and I so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you. Hey, Jack sent you a pic of the bracelet from his church. I've gotten that pic before by somebody else. Um, didn't you have a barn fire going too? Who had the barn fire? Then there's a Mike Post, but now there's a Mike B. Scott. Mike Post, of course, we all know, did the theme from Hill Street Blues. One hip chick. I came late to the patty. Well, I hope you brought us a lovely dessert at least, huh? I have to, well, you can see how painfully thin I look. So I found a nice strudel today at the Price Chopper. I'll tell you, it was like from a French bakery. There's a really cool baker there who's been there forever. He's a very tall, light-skinned black gentleman that you can tell really puts love into his work. He's got the shiniest head, this man. And I just know when I see him that there's going to be really good baked goods to have because he's a professional through and through. Some people don't care so much. Um, we just don't know show about John Cotner. I think Elvis Presley would love to have fun with something like that. And if it was prior to 2011, hey, hey, um, he would be looking for ways to reach his audience, and it's always in a shroud of mystery. So I'm glad you came to the party, one hip chick. Why would you consider yourself hip? Do you wear bell bottoms and tie-dyed shirts and things like that? See, in order to show that, I have to take a picture of it. Bruce, I might have done that for a barn fire, but I will show it next time around. I will. It just is too weird for me to go into the camera. That just seems like how pathetic of a low-tech guy can I be? Marty Greco. Hi, Jack. Jim Cotner, Elvis, negative. Again, I'm not so sure that Elvis didn't go on stage as Orion a few times and maybe record under that name, Orion. Orion had an album, right? Maybe one or two of those tracks is Elvis singing, but Orion wasn't Elvis. He wasn't Elvis. There were two different people. Okay, pictures now that probably will look like doo-doo of John Cotner. Maybe. How do I know it's really John Cotner, I don't know. Let's see here. Okay. Right there. It's not too bad. You can see that. I know. Oh, there's glare. Don't even bother if you can't roll them in or show them in Google Photos. I couldn't get the Google Photos. Not really a resemblance to Elvis, a good-looking man. That he looks more like Elvis than the next picture I'm going to show you, though, which they're saying is Bob Joyce. I suppose you could almost say this could be Bob Joyce's brother, but you can clearly say it is not the pastor from Benton, Arkansas. Right? That's supposed to be John Cotner. And that's not the pastor from Benton, Arkansas. It's not Elvis Presley, and it's definitely not Jerry Seinfeld. Good looking man, though. Nice hair. Nice hair. And, other than that, he's a mystery man. He's a mystery man, John Cotner. So there you go. There you go. You can find those two on Facebook. On Facebook, you can find them. Check out the 2 CDs with Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh, I have no 2 you want me to. I love Jerry Lee Lewis. I played his music um, in the late 70s. He started to record semi-country music. He had a great song. You can find it, Middle Age Crazy, 1977, Jerry Lee Lewis. I played that at my first radio gig, WBUZ, the sound of the country at 1570. Ron Etheridge, how tall is Bob Joyce? Yeah, people have talked about the height. They have talked about the height. I can't. I did not measure the man. But so I can't give you a good answer on that. Ruthie is Richard Lyons says that Bob Joyce is 6 feet tall, so we know Richard is still breathing. And among Patty, Elvis is 5'9" or 5'10". There's things like platform shoes and things like that. It's the thing between the blue eyes and the brown eyes. Oh, well, Bob wears brown contacts sometimes. As Richard was telling me, he was watching, I guess it was last Sunday's praise service, and it was a different camera angle, and you could clearly see Bob's baby blues. When I looked up, when I did some research about Elvis's eyes, it says many people seem to think he has brown eyes. And in some movies with the lighting and what have you, it almost looks like his eyes are brown. But Elvis Presley has blue eyes. Elvis had or has blue eyes like a clear blue day. Elton John did that much better than I could ever do it. Brenda Noyce. How are you, Brenda? Bob and Elvis are the same height. Well, it's things like this. I just never really became that interested in. When I see a man who looks like him and sounds like him, and then I come up with like 6 dozen different coincidences, there's got to be there's so much smoke. I can't see across the room. Where there's this much smoke, there's got to be some kind of a fire. And yes, I'll say it again, even if he turns out to be the love child son of Elvis, to which the hardcore Bob Joyce's Elvis fans will say, look at the scars, look at the veins, look at all that. They're the same. And then there's that indentation I have a video on this with roll-in pictures. Is it the Elvis? Again, I'm forgetting my own videos. Is it the Elvis Returns? I think Will Elvis Return in 2024? I show those pictures of his right arm. It looks almost like there was some kind of injury that Elvis had with and I know he had plenty in karate and what have you, the broken pinky. Bob has a broken pinky. Others say, oh, it's arthritis and da-da-da. I've never been too into this part of it. JJB does a much better job than I do. But I was quite amazed, and I show it in that Is Elvis Returning in 2024 video. The indentation of Elvis's arm and then the indentation of Bob's arm close up. I thought, wow, look at that. It's right up there in the Denton's and Benton nightclub in 2011, where Bob Joyce is sitting there with his son, Matt Joyce, and who is, and I don't know if he is anymore, an Elvis impersonator. And he coaxed his dad to sing American Trilogy. And Bob, of course, wants to Matt to sing the bulk of the song, especially the last part. But Matt is determined, and that forces Bob to go to full voice. Um, as people are shooting video, flashing, there's a an excitement in the crowd, and that's an aha moment for a lot of people when Bob went to full voice to finish the American trilogy. That it was an aha moment that was Elvis Presley you were watching. That's just what people believe. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong. So I've showed you this picture. There's a couple of new pictures here, but I'll show you this one again with Dr. Charlie Ward. What's the pastor doing from Benton, Arkansas, 100-seat church, doing with Dr. Charlie Ward at the big fundraiser, a medical fundraiser? Was it Alzheimer's? I'm not quite sure now. Trying to remember. There he is at Mar-a-Lago. He let his hair grow out a little bit there to show me he wasn't wearing a hairpiece. No, he doesn't. It's not about me. But I'm saying that I like the wilder hair look there. Really cool. Really cool. And then I don't remember the name of this gentleman. You see Willina here, and you see the gentleman's wife, also from the big Mar-a-Lago bash. So another picture I want to show you that I didn't get ready for broadcast. We'll do that next week. But that gentleman there, you see, with the blue tie on, I was told by someone who went to Bob's church that Sunday, which would have been right after this, or the following Sunday, that gentleman there was at a household of faith. That's what they told me. I have it in an email. That gentleman there was at household of faith. So there you go. There's Willina and gentleman's wife. Yeah. Now, one of the weird things about covering this story is that there's the two Bob Joyce theory, but sometimes it seems, to be honest with you, like there's three or four, like some of the people that used to work as Elvis doubles and what have you have wandered into Benton, Arkansas, and really make things confusing. Because we have shown this picture. We have a video. On occasion, the video is called On Occasion, a man who looks different shows up, calling himself Bob Joyce. Not to preach to camera, not to even be in the sanctuary necessarily, but maybe in the fellowship hall. And this man might have been the one who did a video being interviewed as Pastor Bob Joyce. And we can clearly see that's a different man. If you can't see that, I don't want to get into a car with you driving, okay? I just won't do it. It'd be like getting in a car with Richard or something. Now, one of the things that would not help my case, Richard was talking about different angles. Sometimes the photos of the man who does preach to camera every Sunday, Bob Joyce, he calls himself, Pastor Bob Joyce, looks less like Elvis in some pictures, maybe from some angles. Here he is in the recording studio. I don't think this is current. I don't think this is from the Nashville recording studio. It doesn't look grand enough for one reason. But here's Pastor Bob in the recording studio, probably from one of his prior CDs. And as I look at him here, he looks less like Elvis. This story is so weird. I mean, come on, we've got to tell this story. It's time to retire, Pastor, so Kurt Russell can star in your life story. Kurt's not going to be around forever. He's the perfect guy to do it. Give Kurt Russell a break. He needs to do the biggest movie role of his life. Goldie Hawn would like him to do it, I heard. So, come on now. See there, it looks different. It's really weird. This whole story since 2018, it's been so weird. And we talk about Robert Wayne Joyce, who said he was in the service as well. It's been said he was in the service as well. And here he is. I believe this is JJB who says here is Matt and Sabrina's biological father. Sabrina and Matt's biological father. That's Robert Wayne Joyce, both older with a beard, but when he was actually in the service. And you've seen this, many of you. You've seen this. That's not Elvis Presley, neither one of them. And neither one of them suddenly morphed into Elvis Presley. No, 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 no. Elvis was busy being Elvis, for goodness sake, Sue. What are you OMGing? What are you OMGing? Don't leave me wondering. Patricia Spears says Elvis does have more children. Apparently he does. every week there's another cousin, so probably there's more children, right? Yeah. What's the latest guy's name? I can't remember. But of course, we've got Deborah Presley. Many people feel that's a legitimate story, that she is the daughter of Elvis Presley. Not sure who the mother was. Oh, you're saying, Bruce, that is Haxton Road Studio in Bentonville, Arkansas, not Benton? Don't confuse me any more than I'm already confused. You say that's definitely not Elvis. Yeah, and I have to kind of agree with you, Ted. Was that picture put there just to kind of throw us off? See, I don't want to sound like people say, I know your favorite conspiracy is. Well, I don't have a bunch of conspiracies. I tell this story. I did the Paul McCartney story just because I thought it was fun with so many twists and turns. But if you hold a gun to my head and say, you got to come up with the right answer here, is Paul McCartney dead? I'm going to go with no. And I'm going to think I could get my brains blown out because there sure was a lot of things to look at in that story. If I had to guess, Bus Lady joins us. I wonder what the sale of Graceland felt like to Bob Joyce. Oh, that's a good question. And why are we saying Winona Judd with a bunch of question marks? She's still with us. So you can't say she faked her death until she dies, Shell. You've got to wait. Keep all your faked their deaths, in order now. Claudette says, I guess you're saying he will always live in his wonderful music and memories he left us. So Claudette is in the Elvis died in 77 column, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I'm just speaking about possibilities. But boy, when you get to like 60 coincidences, and I don't even believe in coincidences, it's like if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to say good luck. I've heard a lot of Christians say it. Good luck. No such thing. No such thing. So, I know Deborah Presley has a book out. Some people have said do an interview with her. I wonder what kind of an audience it would get, though. I wonder. She might get a better audience with somebody else. I'm not saying she's incapable of getting an audience. I don't know if it would work for me. So, Jeannie Thompson, you're saying Bentonville is Northwest Arkansas, where Walmart headquarters is. Oh, okay. Sam Walton started it all there, huh? I got you. Thank you for that. Chris, for a moment, I thought it was Chris Hansen. Well, we'd send him right out to Benton if it was Chris Hansen, right? Get him on the case there, but he's only looking for sex predators, He's only looking for sex predators. And since Jeffrey Epstein died, that his main guy, that case folded up when somebody went into the jail cell and popped him one. Some people feel that there's a conspiracy theory, right? I have no idea. Sandra Fair, so I have to be fair. I noticed that in Elvis videos, it appears that his middle fingers are longer than Pastor Bob's. Yeah, see, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I haven't studied those things. Um, but people who go to the church tell me a number of things over and over. They tell me that he looks much older in person. The women that get to hug him, some of the men hug him too. Um, a few of them were in the health care industry, and they say he feels like an elderly man, and that they notice the certain shuffle in his step and what have you. Um, Camera can make you look younger or older, but it usually makes you. It depends on what you do to yourself, though. So I won't make any definitive comments there. Someone that is 82 years old can look like they're 65, especially from afar. From afar. Sammy, his laugh is exact. See, there's so many of those kind of things. There's so many of those things. He walks just like him, says Elizabeth Gilbert. Shelley, out of the blue, and I'm sure she's not going to give me the top 12 concrete facts why she's saying this. I would bet that Winona is Elvis's daughter. That would mean, are you saying that Elvis was with, what was mom's name? I can't remember. She's passed on, of course. What's mom's name? The Judds. What was the mom's name? Can't remember. You should know that. There's a little bit, I could see a little bit of that in there, Shell, but that's not enough to come to a conclusion. You got to have more than that, you know? Naomi, thank you, Claudette. Yes, yes, yes. She struggled with a lot of issues, didn't she? Including depression. Naomi, we only see the stage presence. Michael Hoover from the Hoover Vacuum Company says Naomi as well. Thank you. Yes. Um, Yes, Shell loves to say that Elvis was with Naomi. Should we point out all the other people he was with? Like, oh, I don't know, Aunt Margaret. I don't know. I don't know. No, we shall not do that. That would be wrong. That would be from the flesh. Judy Wright says Naomi as well. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. So we have 134 watching right now. Hi. Some of you haven't checked in because I know a lot of the regulars are here. I would love it if you let us know where you're watching from. Is this your first time? If you're from another country, we love to hear what country you're in and what state. If you're here in the United States with the 72 likes, please hit the like button if there's anything you like at all. And also the notification bell, because sometimes we pop on to pop off at odd hours, like I was on in the early afternoon this week with one of those, and we got a nice audience and a nice replay crowd, because you can always go to the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Click on live and you can see all our past live shows, and there's some good ones. There's one that has over 17,000 hits, and that's when I talk about did one of the Memphis Mafia guys spill the beans. I believe that would be the Jerry Schilling video. I never thought it was going to be our biggest video when I did it, but it turned out to be, in terms of a live show. In terms of pre-recorded, I think we're the verdict, about 157,000 now, 157,000. And I thank you for that. Carolina from South Dakota, not in the Carolinas. Caroline Stoddard from Dark Shadows. I'm sorry, but I have such an affection for the name Caroline, and it's not anything to do with Caroline Kennedy. Yes, it was Caroline Kennedy that Neil Diamond wrote that pretty love song to. But she was only 13 at the time, for goodness sakes, Neil. Dear, dear, dear. Richard Lyon, there is probably someone on this site that has had his child You suppose? That could actually be true, Richard. That could be true. It's not just because you're on your third pina colada. No. Good times never seem so good. Yes, yes. That is a Neil Diamond lyric, isn't it, Neo? What's your favorite Neil song? I have so many. Um, Sweet Caroline is certainly up there. I said. Play Me. Love on the Rocks. Ain't no surprise. What is it? Pour me a something and I'll tell you no lies. That's a great song by Neil Diamond, as is They Come to America. Yeah, from the same album. Susan, which Susan? Susan Cowsill? No, Susan Walker. First timer here. Hi, Susan. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you from Northwest Arkansas. Huh. Oh, I don't know my geography very well because I only have a a GED. So if you put me out in the middle of a field in Arkansas, I'll have no clue which is north, south, east, and west. It just won't. Jack, what do you think about the book released by Sonny and Red West in 77? Say, I only saw them in interviews talking about it. Do you think that could have been set up considering he was leaving the spotlight? Help things along. It's hard to say, Ted. I would just be guessing. I think that was probably sincere. And I don't think Elvis would have liked them talking about his addiction to prescription injectable pain medication or his bad eating habits because he was putting on the weight and they were very concerned. Tammy Wells, I did look at your channel, Tammy Wells, because I know you're going to ask me. She's from Australia, and she's a spokeswoman. Are you still doing that, Tammy? Are you still the? I could almost get it because I watched. I watched. I saw the one where you're just kind of talking randomly, and it's like the picture of an Earth, and there's it looks like what was that? Um, it's a Wonderful Life. When they're in the heavens, and there's this conversation going on between God and Clarence, that kind of thing. That's what it reminded me of. But I found you very interesting. I found you very interesting. You're still the spokesperson. I don't want to say woman, still the spokesperson there for that. So that's been a nice gig for you, right? That's like being here in the States, being Flo from the Progressive commercials, something like that, or the guy who plays Mayhem in is that a different insurance company? I can't remember right now. Um, Karen, my partner, always tells me, "Oh, he was on Sex in the City. He was the blank buddy on Sex in the City. The blank buddy." Um, Dragonfly, Dragonfly. Yeah. So I can see you have talent there. I can see you have talent, and I will watch more. So tell people about your channel. Cindy in South Louisiana, do you all think John Cotner was Elvis's twin Jesse? Oh, we always hear about uh, Jesse. Everybody talks about Jesse. If I have to guess, I say Jesse died at birth, as they say. Let me take a look at the Fox weather here. Rain in New York here on Monday. They're talking about a lot of rain. 9.5 inches in some parts of New York. That's what they're saying. So there's definitely going to be a lot of flooding. Rain in Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis, Louisville, Nashville, Paducah, Kentucky, right? Paducah. So I'll keep looking at that. But a lot of tornadoes in the Oklahoma area, Scotland, Texas, places like that. Kansas, be careful if you're in those hot spots. Jesse was stillborn. There is no Jesse living. Just my opinion. I would agree with you, one hip chick. Mike Fortner says it's now called Sex and the City. There's a different name to it. And just like that or something it's called now, right? Uh, where are we? Mandela effect. Most people say sex in the city. Well, um, Karen just loves that show, and I just never understood Sarah Jessica Parker being portrayed as this goddess that would get one top shelf guy after another. A blonde that didn't come back for the new show. I think maybe a phone call with her voice. But there's bad blood between her and Sarah Jessica Parker. What's her name? Can't think of her name because I'm not that big of a fan of the show. But Karen certainly is, and they're doing a third season. So Karen's excited about that. The movie Longing, starring one of the biggest movie stars of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond, Richard Gere, will premiere in theaters on June 7th. Richard Gere plays Daniel, a wealthy bachelor. He's played that role before, or he always plays a wealthy something, at least in his later roles, after he got out of being an officer who was also a gentleman, or was he? I don't know. That's one movie I never saw all of, just pieces of. Um, Daniel, a wealthy bachelor in his 60s, learns that a former girlfriend gave birth to a child 2 years ago and that his son has just died. Daniel explores his deceased son's life, getting to know him vicariously through those closest to him, and he reevaluates his life choices. They shot it in Canada. Richard Gere's 74, playing a man in his 60s now. He does look older, but he's still, he's still a good looking man. But you notice a difference since we've last seen him on screen. One of my favorite Richard Gere movies would be Unfaithful, with the great Diane Lane and that French chap who, actually got the girl, Richard Gere's wife, in that film over him. He was very good as well. I don't know. I know he's done other work, but I haven't seen it. But Richard Gere was so busy at that time, they started Unfaithful without him and shot as many scenes as they could. And then Richard Gere rushed to the set of Unfaithful, and Diane Lane said we could all breathe a sigh of relief because the king was in the castle. The king was in the castle. I think Richard Gere is not one of our greatest actors, but I also think he's one of our greatest personalities. Many people have always been interested in a good dollop of Richard Gere. Obviously, the women in his prime, were interested in that. But that is true of someone whose personality just is so endearing to those who would buy a movie ticket. So the fact that he's never won an Oscar, uh, I don't know if he's even been nominated. I think he won one Golden Globe. The fact that he doesn't have this long list of awards, I think, points to the fact that the Academy would feel he's a minimal performer, likable, but he picks really good roles because he can pick the ones that he wants and decline the ones that he doesn't. He's been capable of a blockbuster so many times. We'll see what happens with Longing, because now, how many people in our age group are going to go to the theater, or are they going to wait, because you don't have to wait that long anymore for it to be on pay-per-view or even eventually on HBO Max. But I've seen a number of his, what's that movie? Arbitrage or whatever you call it. Arbitrage. I can't even pronounce the word, but that was a great one where he's been involved in all kinds of high level shady business dealings. I like that one a lot. So Longing with Richard Gere, I saw him once on a talk show in person in Rockefeller Center, and that show was the Rosie O'Donnell show. Believe it or not, there was a time in my life in the 90s when I loved Rosie O'Donnell, and I must have seen 15 Rosie O'Donnell shows in person. And it wasn't easy because the security on the line, her personal bodyguards, were all retired NYPD officers. And they would look for repeat visitors like myself. And when they would come to me, I would just say, well, I don't come too much because, I'm on the job like you guys were. And I showed them my New York City peace officer shield. And that usually kept me on the line. So I did see many shows. Then I began to realize there were two Rosies, that the endearing character that she created on the Rosie O'Donnell show was not the real Rosie. And I said to myself, I'm never going to be this enamored by a personality again. I'm never going to be that enamored by a personality again. Yeah. 1:30 watching right now. Hi, Jill. Ted, it's close, but he struggled to write it like he was trying not to write like Elvis. And I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. I need to get the first part of that conversation. Jerry Bridges joins us. One thing is for sure, Bob Joyce has a definitely Tennessee sound in his speech. Uh-huh. Um, and then Sue just says something randomly like, I heard that Jesse was Priscilla's husband, not Elvis. Ah, yes, you heard. Uh-huh. It's these I heards that often I don't know how to respond to them, Um, don't do a video on it unless you have some documentation, some kind of stuff that would indicate. And, because it's hard to come to final solid proof conclusions. I understand that. Bob's signature is similar to Elvis. Uh-huh. Yeah, you hear so many things. Elizabeth Gilbert has been to Household of Faith. So many of the audience here has, and I always love to hear your take on your visit to Household of Faith. Tammy Wells from New Zealand. No, Australia. I'm getting confused now. Is it New Zealand or Australia, Tammy? My brain is freezing. I'm not a Priscilla fan. Well, I've heard that before. I'm sorry, but I can't stand her. Yeah, well, when I did, there's a couple of Priscilla videos here talking about her movie, and then we have the picture that could be a CGI fake of Bob Joyce and Priscilla together. It is distorted, but someone in the know. I guess I can tell you now, it was Gene Ho that told me that lens distortion, since he is a professional photographer, lens distortion can easily occur, and they will make the image appear different than it really is. Like the thighs could appear much heavier. Because I just asked Gene, and he was gracious enough to tell me. He never tells me anything about Pastor Bob Joyce or anything like that, but he was gracious enough to tell me that. So there you go, Marianne Rossi. So sorry I didn't see you in Clarksville. What was it? New Jersey. We were planning on going, but then I looked at the route that I was going to have to take, which involved the Garden State Parkway and what have you. This is one of those cases I really wanted to go to the venue, but going down the Palisades Parkway and getting on the Garden State Parkway and stuff, it would make Karen very nervous. She hates that area, and I thought, I'm not going to go by myself. Sean and Norma decided not to go. They're not going to Barnesville tomorrow because that's an hour and a half down the road. It's a half hour past Wilkes-Barre, and there's so much road construction. Now, they won't be doing it tomorrow because it's Sunday, and I would recommend, if you're anywhere near that big catering hall in Barnesville, PA, go see Jimmy Sturr, 18-time Grammy winner, at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I've got my schedule here. I keep switching glasses like Fred Sanford. I might as well have a drawer here, because it's funny when he did it. Yeah, tomorrow, the Lakeside Ballroom in Barnesville, PA. I would love to be there. It's a big place. They do weddings there and things like that. I believe it's 2 p.m., yes, for the Lakeside Ballroom. Doesn't say a time. I think it is 2, but I'm not 100% sure. But you can call the Lakeside Ballroom to verify the time. And then Jimmy is pretty much, his schedule is clear until June 22nd, not too far from here in beautiful Warwick, New York, at Penning's Farm. It's a wonderful place. They have a restaurant. They have special seating. Could be a problem if it was pouring rain that day. But it's going to be a good gig, and I hope the weather cooperates for Penning's Farm. It was pouring rain that day. But it's going to be a good gig, and I hope the weather cooperates for Penning's Farm on the 22nd. That's a ticketed event. I already got my tickets for that. Not saying they won't sell them at the door. I just don't know. And then in July, Jimmy Sturr will be right here downtown for a free concert on the 5th of July, a Friday. Port Jervis, right near the Pennsylvania line, on the 13th for a festival. Jimmy Sturr hits the stage at 6:45 at the America the Beautiful Festival in Port Jervis, New York, and that'll be followed by fireworks. And a really big gig is in Pine Island, New York. I'll be at all 3 of these gigs in July. The PLAV Pavilion, the Polish Club in Pine Island, New York, from 2 to 6 p.m. with very special guest, the Tokens with the original voice, Mr. Jay Siegel. He's never had that kind of a big guest at the Polish Club. It's outside. It's real nice. There's a lot of lawn for chairs and what have you. You're hoping for good weather, but there's a big covered pavilion that everybody can huddle under. And the food from the Polish ladies inside, where you can sit down there and enjoy that inside the club, is phenomenal. The desserts are phenomenal. So there you go. There you go. Well, we've been on for an hour and 22 minutes right now. Oh, let me have some water. $156, our top number. Hi, everybody. Where are you from? Is this your first time watching? We have a lot of videos up here at this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. People most like to talk about the pastor from Benton, Arkansas, Bob Joyce, who looks like Elvis Presley. So we've been doing that since 2018. And but we talk about other things too. I just recorded something. Has Christianity, how did I put it? Has Christianity gone out of style? I did that after I did the promo for this show in the middle of the night, and it's pretty good. It's 20 minutes long, and it's the intro to what I'm going to be talking about down the road on that topic, with more scriptures and stuff than I have in that one. And I'll release that during the week. I don't want to release it at the wrong time, I don't expect that to be a big viewership thing, but it's worth your viewing, I can tell you that. Katina Swatsworth is here. I don't believe the Four Brothers was Jesse. I don't believe in the Four Brothers, period, that went on big. And I do have a video that talks about that, but only I'm commenting on someone else that talked about the Four Brothers. I don't endorse it in any way, shape, or form. Show always has brilliant ideas like, hey, Jack, get a gold jacket and wear it to the church. Should I get myself a Rod Stewart wig too? Because even at 70, whatever he is, Rod Stewart would look much better than I could by doing that. Uh-huh. Yeah, someone said to me, in fact, I know who it was. I'm not going to call out your name. You might be here right now. I'm not sure. I'm going to go to the church and I'll ask him if he's Elvis. Yeah, that's like that's like going up to Bill Clinton and asking, "Have you slept with 12-year-old girls?" It's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for you. Hmm. Hmm. Things that make you go, hmm. Well, we lost a bunch of people, huh? They come and they go here. But I'd love to know where you're watching from. Love to hear about um, the new timers as well, where you're watching in the world. There's some people that I'm looking to see that I'm not seeing. Okay, Jill is going to take us to task here. I think I've heard something similar. I know I have. Why wouldn't you respect a man who has saved his own life? Saved his own life. Only Jesus can save our life by leaving the old life of evil. He's a new man and only wants Jesus to be idolized. Well, I don't idolize him. And if there are people here that idolize Elvis Presley or who they think may be Elvis now, then that's something. Have no gods before me. Um, See, it's always been a situation where if Elvis is still with us, that he very much wants to be noticed. When you start a YouTube ministry in 2011, when you put your face to camera, first of all, if you were in the witness protection program, you've now had to go back to regular bodyguards because they will never allow you to put your face on a worldwide video. It is normal when somebody does something that for a massive amount of people to say, oh my God, that looks and sounds like Elvis Presley. He looks like him and he sounds like him. If he really didn't want that attention, I would have stayed far away from YouTube. But any pastor, including Pastor Bob Joyce, wants as many people to see their sermon as possible. He wants to win souls to Christ, and he wants at some level, we're all part of flesh and spirit, even when we've been born again. He wants the attention. Over the years, he has given many hints, and he knew when he went to Mar-a-Lago this year that would only be flaming uh, the fire. We've talked about all the other things. Watch the verdict. 60 coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences either, but 60 things of note. He knew this would get noticed, and he basically said, "I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do." When one of the people that's now left the church heard that he was going to, after a luncheon, go to the go, they went back into the sanctuary, and he was planning on sitting down at the piano and singing "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." He said, "Oh, you better not do it. You know, those conspiracy theorists." Basically, Bob's attitude was, "I will do what I want to do." And I think that he is smart enough to know that people are going to notice that. It's simply outrageously um, preposterous, I haven't said that word in a long time, to expect that there won't be a worldwide reaction. There was a worldwide reaction. Sometimes in this small sanctuary, as many as 11 countries, and they say this on the church website, have been recognized. People from all over the United States. When a former famous person comes there to the Household of Faith Sanctuary, you may not see it on camera, but it gets out. It gets out. And so, that's par for the course. They have straddled a very careful line. When he did a denial of he didn't mention Elvis. It was a very qualified denial when they were in the strip mall. That Household of Faith sanctuary. It was very controlled. He could have made it very clear. Oh, people say I look like this one and that one. He likes to say people say it looks like Kenny Rogers. No, you don't look anything like Kenny Rogers. You have the Kenny Rogers look that so many men have adopted, including the gardener at Graceland now. The beautiful white hair, the white beard, the white mustache. But no, you look like Elvis Presley, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So they're going to have that reaction. When you release a song, He Hideth My Soul, and it's on Spotify by Bob Joyce, and you listen to it and you hear young Elvis Presley singing, well, that's illegal. You can't do that. Only Elvis could do that. And I could quote about 58 other things. That's all I can tell you, Jill. There's no malice here. I love Pastor Bob Joyce. Um, uh, it's not a matter of I don't think he's dying for me to go there. Um, it's not a matter. If I went to Household of Faith, Jill, I better be going. And I've said this on many times in many shows. You go to church to worship the Lord Jesus Christ. You go there to worship the Lord Jesus Christ. Absolutely. Put your whole heart into it. Later on, though, once the service is over, he'll be glad to take a picture with you. He's got a Sharpie in his pocket. He'll be glad to sign the CD you just bought. They line up, for goodness sakes. Let's stop. Let's stop pretending that there's nothing to see here. Don't look at the man behind the curtain. I know you're annoyed with people that mention this, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's not going away, Jill. It's not going away. So what can I tell you? Did I say anything that makes sense to you? He's a wonderful preacher, Jill, but he's not one of the best teachers that we've ever had from the pulpit. He's an encourager, and he puts his heart into it, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, but you can't say he's at the level of what Charles Stanley was, or Derek Prince. You probably don't know him, or many other preachers that have touched me over the years that are teachers. I don't believe personally that the guy who screams and talks loud and filled with a mixture of encouragement and then calling out the flock for their lack of faithfulness or intentions of why you go there. I don't think that leads to life change. I don't think that leads to people renewing their mind and walking in step with the Holy Spirit. I think only a very small amount of Christians ever get to that level. 3%, 4%, 5%. The rest of Christians die in the baby state of Christianity, myself included, unfortunately. Maybe I can change some things. God will be gracious and give me a little more time. Maybe I can be more faithful than I've ever been. And I've been on Christian radio for 11 years, been a deacon in the church, But the idea of you go in and there's a song service and then the preacher preaches maybe communion in the Protestant church. You're lucky if you get it. Lucky. Be surprised if you get it once a month. Catholic Church is right about that. It should be every single time you gather. Do this in memory of me, not once a month or every 6 weeks when you can get to it. It's the focal point. It's the center point. The Lord inhabits the praises of his people. Real Christian growth ain't going to come in any church sanctuary unless the Holy Spirit falls. And that's a whole other topic I'm going to be talking about in this new series, Has Christianity Gone Out of Style? Oh, how can I talk so much? Talk about, Karen says I got a gift of the gab, after all these years doing rock and roll radio and Christian radio and what have you. No wonder I'm hoarse after this, Mike Fortner. Chuck Missler, I know who he is. He's a very good guy. Yeah, he used to kind of partner with somebody. Who was he on with a lot? Who did Chuck Missler hang with a lot? because now you're taking me back to the 90s on the Trinity Broadcasting Network. But I do know I can picture him in my face. Bob is passionate about leading as many as he can to the Lord. And the truth is, many go there because they do want to see who they think is Elvis Presley. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong. Could be wrong about the whole thing, you know. But that gets them in the door, and then the Holy Spirit has an opportunity. But they've got to have an open heart. The Holy Spirit is not like in the mafia where you gotta accept this gift or else. Well, some could say or else, but that's a whole other story for us to talk about another time. Dora says he died, I believe. Yeah, and I will never criticize your belief. But what happens is people that believe that way also are annoyed that we talk about this. And I have tried, by the way, Jill, to back away from the topic many times. And I put myself in a box, which was stupid, because I realized that, you got to know your audience. My audience does not really want to hear me pontificate too much on Christianity. Some do, but obviously that's really for seasoned, more successful Christians than I. Kathleen Wiedenbacher is here. Gift of the gab. Karen is right, but you are very intelligent and sharp, Jack. Sometimes on some topics. I could never do a radio talk show, for example, because I would be just one call away from seeming extremely stupid. Well, remember back in World War II, Jack, and I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I know some things, but they could easily make me look like I have a GED, which is exactly what I have. I never thought about that. I said, I want to be a disc jockey. I don't need to go to college for that. I need to go to broadcast school. So I did. I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Hartford, Connecticut. Johnny! Hello, Johnny. Here's Johnny. And I got to catch your first comment to understand that one, and it's already gone. He did die. Yeah, well, a lot of those guys I used to watch on Trinity Broadcasting Network have passed on. I guess Arthur Blessed is still living, the cross-carrying evangelist, right? But Jerry Bernard just passed away recently from California preacher. I got to meet him and see him preach, I think, in Poughkeepsie, New York. Love Jerry Bernard. He was great. There are definitely people here that has met Bob Joyce, Elizabeth Gilbert. Talk to Tammy. He doesn't take a collection, so he's not doing it for the money, like so many would think, nor does he draw a salary from the church. Big question, how does the church function? How does he function? Yeah. I think it's fine to take a collection, by the way. I'm not saying the tithe is a New Testament thing, but the Bible does talk about us giving our first fruits, giving sacrificially, and see if the Lord will not open up a window. That's Old Testament scripture, but I think it's part of who God is, that he wants to bless his people as they step out in faith. So yeah, several have met him. More than that, it just depends how many is on that have been to the church already. How many people are going to Hot Springs August 11th? The big event with Gene Ho is August 10th and 11th. The paid part of the event is on August the 10th with a variety of speakers. I don't know if I can find that spot right now. Oh, yes. I have all these financial tips now that I stupidly clicked on this. I wanted to find out these little AI companies, that I could invest in that could do real well down the road. Because my Donald Trump stock I've lost a few dollars, not a lot, and I don't have many shares. But I do have, a number of Donald Trump Truth Social shares, and it took a bit of a hit but then it came up on Friday, and started a little bit of a rebound on Friday. So I don't know if I can find. Do 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 do. Oh, I know how to do it. I always forget the easiest way to find Gene. I don't know why I do that, but I do. So I shall. Don't forget the replay. If you've missed any, just go to the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and look for the May 25th, 24 show. Let's see here. I think it's in this one. Yeah. I can only play the audio. If you tune into the Will Elvis Return in 2024 pre-recorded video, you'll see the spot. But here's the audio for it. Here's Gene Ho.
Join us in beautiful Hot Springs, Arkansas for the first annual George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th, with special guests Richie Minervini, John B. Wells, Amanda Grace, Pastor Bob Joyce, Donae Clement, Juanita Broderick, Scott McKay, Andre Popa, and special online appearance by Dave Blade, the CEO of George Magazine, with your musical guest Bella Popa and me. Come on, join us Sunday for a free Sunday service as well with Pastor Bob Joyce. It's George Magazine Live, August 10th and 11th. Find out more at George Magazine Live.
GeorgeMagazine.com or GeorgeMagazineLive.com. You'll find out all the ins and outs, the hotel they recommend in Hot Springs, etc. And Gene Ho has done a recent video taking us on a semi-tour of the theater that George Magazine has. Let me go back to live stream so I can see myself. Yeah. Once again, I have knocked the camera. I want to say Rainer Hall Theater in Hot Springs. I can tell you the lobby to it is huge, so there's probably quite a few seats. Rainier Hall Theater in Hot Springs, Arkansas. On Sunday, that's where Pastor Bob Joyce will bring the Household of Faith Fellowship for the service. And there'll be a baptism that follows, which you have to sign up for in advance, okay? So go to the GeorgeMagazine.com website or GeorgeMagazineLive.com. And you're definitely going to want to subscribe to George Magazine because in the August issue, I believe it's the August issue, there will be an interview. Gene Ho interviews Pastor Bob Joyce. But you see, there's a whole bunch of speakers on Saturday. That's the paid event. And you'll find out all the ins and outs by going to GeorgeMagazineLive.com. All right. What's Bus Lady up to? I will be 84 in August. Well, God bless your heart. I am a great grandmother. Yeah, I've heard you were great. You make some really nice cookies, I was told. Yes, I've seen those pictures, Jill, of Gene Ho wearing his blue suede shoes into church. I have a picture of him somewhere wearing those blue suede shoes. And he made a statement recently, which I haven't decided whether I'm going to comment on, just because he made the comment about something doesn't mean that it's for me to comment on. I don't know. I don't know. So Posta, Polish name, right? You have a sight impediment. You have lymphoma, inflammation spot. Well, everybody pray for Postok. Postok. Pray for him. Remember him in your prayers. Yes, Gene Ho was the campaign campaign photographer for President Trump before he was President Trump in 2015, the 2015 campaign, and a little while into the year 2016. He has photographed many famous people, been involved in many photo shoots, and he says, so one of the most recent things that Gene Ho says is that he didn't even know who Pastor Bob Joyce was when he moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is near Benton. Gene Ho was, he grew up in South Carolina at Myrtle Beach. He actually ran for mayor in Myrtle Beach, almost won. But when that didn't happen, he moved to Hot Springs, Arkansas, and is now involved in the running of George Magazine. George Magazine. So, yeah. Good night, Karen Gagnon. Thank you for that. Good night, Jack and Karen. Appreciate you stopping by. Here's Penny. Forshie. I am going to Pastor Bob's church soon, and I have a friend who plays at his church, and he's going to introduce me to him. Sure. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with who the musicians are now. I believe the drummer is not there anymore that I would know. I don't think he's come back. Nobody has told me that he's back. Well, hello, Belinda Lemon, which is really Margaret. Hey, Jack, how are you doing, Margaret? Bob is so famous. Well, he gives all the glory to the Lord Jesus Christ. And absolutely, if you go to the church, you're there to worship God. And if you're not there, you really shouldn't go. Don't get baptized because you think, oh, I'm going to be baptized by you know who. Don't do that. That is not a good thing. I met my dad's only remaining first cousin last year, 89, and he looks 20 years younger, says Nancy DeMarco. Yeah. Thank you, Judy Wright, for stopping by. I always appreciate it. You're a very reliable viewer. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. I even wrote that down, and I probably would have totally forgotten it, Jody Smith. He should title the CD, you wrote that, and I wrote it down wanting to comment, because who the heck is Vince Everett? Because that was his name now you tell me, in Jailhouse Rock. And he recorded rockabilly in the 60s at ABC Records under the name Vince Everett, huh? So why was it number 27 said to number 3, you're the cutest jailbird I ever did see? This must have been a co-ed prison, was it, in that movie? I didn't know it was your birthday, Bus. See, things go by so fast. Bus Lady, very happy birthday to you. Happy 29th birthday. Yes, yes, yes. Good night, Brenda, but I don't really believe you're going. And have a great tomorrow. Business day, the Lord's Day. Gail George is here, and she's already wowed by something. I don't know. Maybe she won the Mega Millions tonight. Remember, we're good friends, Gail George. Now, there was a Gail George that was in the Elvis files, right? Was that the Bill Bixby special? I have a video with Bill Bixby in it, God rest his soul. And there was a Gail George in there. That sounds right. Now that I think about it, we're not talking about, oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Gail Brewer Giorgio. Is that who they're talking about? I don't know. I'm more confused than the squad would be if it came time for a lie detector test. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Wish I was. Yes, Giorgio. That's right. Gail Brewer Giorgio. Did she pass away? Someone said yes, and I'm not sure. Shannon by Henry Gross. Shannon Lauder, not, what is it? S.D. Lauder? I always forget the designer's name. S.D. Lauder, right? I don't know. I did work down at the Woodbury Common here, and there's a lot of, I'm sure that is represented there because Chanel is there and AX and, so many fancy stores at Woodbury Common, which people come to from all around the world. Bill Murray's been there. There is no Jesse, says Jill. And hey, Jill, for once, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. You say it's, I'm saying it wrong, louder. Is that the same for the designer? SD louder? Have I got the SD right? I don't know. It's so much to remember, you know? It's so much to remember. I think the designer is Lauder, isn't it? SD Lauder. So you're just louder. I see. You're loud. You don't need a microphone. Mom of 4 spoiled brats? You shortened it, but I can figure it out. Be careful about that. They'll ruin your life. Yep, I think Jack is truly lost on the convos. What's a convos? Yeah, I'm in the ether again. It's very misty tonight in the ether. And there's more clouds in my head than there are in Oklahoma right now. Makeup is Lauder, right? But you say louder. They don't. So I'm confused, Penny. Who is Jesse? Jesse was the stillborn brother of Elvis Presley. But of course, that would lead to a conspiracy theory down the road. And so every once in a while, they call me that. I'm a one conspiracy guy, if you want to call me that. But I just speak of possibilities. I could be wrong. And I'm ready to move on to another topic as soon as we can find one that people love anywhere near like they love this one. Jody Smith says, I felt for years that Bob and JONH are the same person. Huh? Esther, yeah, it's all coming back to me. Esther Lauder. Estee? Yeah. Now you're going to have me looking that up to get it. Neo. Estee Lauder is the makeup one. Yes, I used to use her rouge all the time. Remember the word rouge, Nancy DeMarco? There is a saying, when you know, you know. Well, that's the Buc-ee's slogan. And if you have been to Buc-ee's, if you have been there, you know that it's the greatest mega convenience store in the world. I may just say that to Pastor Bob and wink. And at that point, the bodyguards will carry you off. No, I'm just joking. See, if you use the word delusional, like in my church style, then you go to hostile. We try to stay away from hostile. You don't believe Bob is Elvis, or you're an Elvis protector. The Elvis protectors can be very difficult to deal with because they are on a mission that they are often self-appointed to, you know. I mean, Popcorn Sutton, who, as I refer to him, argued with everybody on the internet and every Facebook group. He got booted off of those groups, I guess, because they don't allow these Facebook group. The people that run them are tough, you know. So please try to disagree without inferring that the other person is stupid. Cindy in South Louisiana is talking to Nancy DeMarco. I don't know, Kathleen Whataburger. It's a wild kingdom, isn't it? It's a wild kingdom. I saw a pic of Elvis getting off an airplane, and we all said it was not him. Huh. Yeah, baby. Still 112 watching. I'm getting ready to wrap it up, guys, as we approach 2 hours. And I always do that with scripture, and I try to not pick the scripture ahead of time. So maybe it would give the Lord a chance to say what he wants to say and keep me out of it, you know? I think we covered most of what I talked about in the promo, right? My throat is getting dry. That's for sure. That's for sure. Here's someone, Gail George is talking about Rouge was big with Mary Kay Cosmetics, huh? My mother used Rouge, you know. I don't hear the term anymore. It's blush, right? Blush? Is there another word for it? I can tell you it's next door or whatever it is because Karen has more products than Carter's got liver pills. And they probably don't sell liver pills like they used to because now there's prescription medications that are better, right? Yes, and I'm on one of them. It's called Forxiga, which is also good for your blood pressure. Or you could stop eating the damn donuts, Jack. You could stop eating the damn donuts. Just today, I had a piece of strudel from the Price Chopper. And I told you about this wonderful baker that's been there for years with a shiny head. Loves what he does and loves being the big guy there. And he is big. He's like 6'4". And I knew it would be good. But this strawberry cream cheese strudel was like I was in France. I mean, the crispiness of it and stuff. You go to some other store like ShopRite, they're not going to have a good strudel. They have great specials and everything, and we go there the most. But if you want good bakery items, you got to pick the place, you know, in advance. Don't expect to get it. I mean, as fine as Entenmann's can be, and I try to eat very little of it, but as fine as it can be, some of the things they have, it ain't no French pastry. You know what I say? It ain't no Tres Leche cake from Jackie's Latin Kitchen, in the very place I rehooked up with Karen in 2010. I was 54 and she was 53. Wow, how time has flown, Gail George. And Rouge can't cover that up. You know what I'm saying? I haven't talked about Hollywood stars, Jill, but I did live in Hollywood, so I could talk quite a bit about Hollywood stars. I have a lot of Hollywood stories. You haven't heard my Village People movie set. You haven't heard my Shelley Winters amusing story that kind of goes along with that. You haven't heard about Merv Griffin checking me out behind the theater there. I think Merv, he liked the stuffing, but he also liked the potatoes. But let's face it, when I saw that commercial about, do you want for dinner, do you want stuffing or potatoes? I had that reaction. I thought, I got to choose. Do I sit down at a Thanksgiving meal and they say, well, we went with potatoes this year, so we didn't stuff the turkey. I say, what? What? But Focus. Hocus Pocus by Focus. You want to hear that song? I could play it for you on Spotify. I'm beginning to think you have a bone to pick with me, Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to have a little fun. Silly old Jill forgot her pill, and now they have a son. I hope that doesn't offend you, but I heard that when I was growing up, you know? Or there's Jack and Jill by Ray Parker and Radio. Do you know that song? Jack and Jill. It's a good one. Yeah. I don't know. So funny. But there are not enough fries in my Happy Meal. That's why when people order me, they always complain. And you know, the price of these Happy Meals and the price of these Big Mac meals, it depends where you live, I guess. If you go into like San Diego McDonald's, what are you going to pay for a Big Mac meal, which is no good for you? $15, $20, I heard in some places. $20 for a Big Mac meal. I only want one of them like 3 times a year, but when I want that Big Mac, I want it. I want it, Jill. I just do. I mean, you get these hankering for things. Obviously, pizza is way out in front. I mean, Jill, I don't know where you live, but I live in New York, and we have New York pizza right here in the Hudson Valley, and it's to die for. I had one about a week ago with the mushrooms and meatballs on it. No, peppers and meatballs. And it's not raw peppers they throw into a pizza like Domino's would do. They have a way of soaking the peppers in oil and what have you. And what's the word I'm looking for? You know, they like almost like ferment the peppers so they're nice and soft. You know, some people will get to heaven perhaps, and they will say it's really wonderful here, but could you put in a Starbucks because they love coffee? And I've never had a cup, so I'm definitely not in that crowd. But I would be looking for the New York pizza, you know. I would be. Well, thank you very much, one hip chick, wearing bell bottoms tonight, and your oh, you've got your Eric Burden and the Animals shirt on, I see. Very good. Very good. 98 watching. We're starting to drop a little. Lovely Rita Maid. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to stop eating sweets. Yeah, right? That cherry strudel, yeah, with cream cheese in it. Sounds too good. It's maybe the best they ever had. Just happened on it this afternoon. I was looking for chocolate croissants, which are so hard to get. But then again, I shouldn't be eating any of this. See, it is called Worldwide Ramblings, Jill, so I'm rambling. And others are too, but they're just doing it with their keyboard, you know? Yeah. You know, we have Di Filippi's Bakery here, an Italian bakery. Oh, boy. Then we have Jackie's Latin Kitchen with a Tres Leche cake and other Latin goodies down the road, just down the road. I'm talking 1 block, 2 blocks down. And we don't have Tony Baffa's anymore. Tony Baffa's was like you're going to an Italian restaurant in Little Italy, New York City, but it was right here in the Hudson Valley, just a mile and a half from me where I am. But after 66 years, they packed it in. Tony Sr. passed away, and Tony Baffa Jr. tried to find someone that would run it. He would teach them all the tricks that made them so incredible, but he could never find anybody and ended up selling to the Koreans. So they don't do anywhere near the same business. But so I go to the men's room today at the Galleria, and I'm washing my hands, and in walks Tony Baffa Jr. And we walked out together. Karen was sitting on the bench waiting for me and was happy to see Tony Baffa. And it was really nice to catch up with him. He's a legend, and his father was a legend. His brother Mario, I went to St. Joseph's Catholic School with. He lives in Austin, Texas. So, wow. Jack, what have I missed? A lot of rambling. Jill says I'm rambling. I was on earlier, but I had to leave for a bit. So please watch that replay. We talk about everything we said we would talk about. John Cotner, Elvis, the new Richard Gere movie. We talk about some details about the song And I Love Her So, that is the Perry Como smash, but it was done by Elvis and John Cotner. Are they the same person? That's for you to decide. I don't have a horse in this race, or a big muscle guy in this fight. Seeing what are we talking about? Posta, something about Jenny Feathers, flown of light part baby. Okay. Somebody else take that one. Who wants to take credit for a lot? Are we fighting again? I hope not. I don't know. I know Heather Feather. I don't think Heather Feather talked much tonight, if she was here at all. I think she was. McDonald's is getting free refills. That's the only thing, if you go inside, you get your second iced tea, your sweet tea. McDonald's is getting free refills on soda, as if they're no alienating their customers as it is. So I think what you're saying is they're stopping the free refills. Yeah. Wendy's, I don't know if they backed off from this, and I can tell you why they will back off if they haven't already. But Wendy's backed off of higher prices during rush hours, like the lunch and dinner rush. They would raise the prices. Whoever thought of that should probably be dangled from the Empire State Building, but then they should be brought back in. They should not be let go. Severe storms in Minneapolis, Chicago. It's coming to New York. I'm sure we'll have rain on this Sunday, and we will definitely have a lot of rain on Memorial Day. All the festivities, won't go on probably. Albuquerque, Dallas, Denver, San Francisco, home of Michael Savage. Am I still going to do that Jack Savage video? I am. That's why I have let something grow in. You see? Nobody commented on my whiskers. Not going to be there forever. I can promise you that. Neo. They are sliding in quick ads, Neo. Is that what you're saying in the live stream? That's because I've been on 2 hours, I don't ever see that or know that. So thank you. I have nothing bad to say about YouTube. I appreciate them very much. I was happy to see that everything is good between YouTube and me. And I respect when I make a wrong decision, a decision that they don't like, and then they let me know about it. They don't, send the Terminator after me. I appreciate YouTube very, very much for a worldwide voice and getting to meet all of you. So it looks like things are good, and thank you for those that prayed about that. I understand I was very vague about it, and definitely will continue to be. I know what I wanted to read, but that may not be what the Lord wants me to read in the book of Acts. But maybe it is because he put it on my heart. So Acts chapter 2 in the NIV, beginning with verse 1. When the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. Suddenly a sound like the blowing of a violent wind came from heaven and filled the whole house where they were sitting. They saw what seemed to be tongues of fire that separated and came to rest on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues as the Spirit enabled them. Now they were staying in Jerusalem, God-fearing Jews from every nation under heaven. When they heard this sound, a crowd came together in bewilderment, because each one heard them speaking in his own language. Utterly amazed, they asked, "Are not all of these men who are speaking Galileans? then how is it that each of us hears them in our own native language? A lot of difficult names to pronounce there. Amazed and perplexed, verse 12, they asked one another, what does this mean? Some, however, made fun of them and said they have had too much wine. Read the complete Acts chapter 2 in the Bible. That's what people are hungry for, you know. Words can only go so far, but it's not the pastor's fault if it's just another service where they sing a few songs and he preaches a sermon and everybody goes away unchanged, because it's not the pastor's job to change people. He can encourage them to accept Christ and what have you and pray with them, but it's our job to make that decision whether we want to receive the free gift of God, which is Jesus Christ. And then it's our responsibility to seek the Lord with all our heart, soul, and mind. And I still fall short of that, and I suspect many of you do too. This is our problem. That's why we needed a Savior, because we'd be nowhere without one. But as we are, many of us in the fourth quarter, it's probably a time to seek like we have never sought the Lord before. So that's why you go to church, not to meet somebody who you think might have been somebody else. It's fine to say hello and buy a CD if you want to, take a picture. But the main reason is because we're in the last days here. The world's on fire. And it's time to get serious about our faith. I'm talking to myself, not you. So there you go. Sue Fenner says soda is so bad to drink. I heard a cardiologist call it the drink of death in his reel broadcast on Facebook. You know, you watch those reels, do you, sometimes? And that really stuck with me. But I thought the worst is like the cola. So once in a while, a little ginger ale. Ginger's good for you, right? The zero sugar. That I still cheat with that a little bit, but I've been kind of staying away from my my zero sugar Pepsi, which I love so much. I love so much. Still 93 watching. Hello, replay crowd. Please hit the subscribe and like button if you haven't subscribed already. We're over 7,600 subscribers now, and I appreciate that so much. It'll be a fight to get to 7,700. It always is, but I'm not really focused on that. You know, we'll see. You know, I'm happy with the success that we have been given, and I have to work to keep that level of success. So, you know, there you go. I mean, we had one great month this year, but I quickly learned that wasn't going to happen every single month. But we're doing pretty good overall. I heard Vernon got permission, says Jane, for 6 graves when he moved Gladys and Elvis, and there are 6 buried there. Does that mean Priscilla is out? Yeah, people love to talk about Priscilla. What can I tell you? It's not on my agenda. I don't dislike Priscilla. And I think I'll stay away from that whole topic right now. I think don't take the scab off the wound. I will stay away. Good night, Jack. Have a great Memorial Day. Slumber calls. I totally understand. We wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for those brave men and women who gave all. They gave all. Just like the firemen at 9/11 rushed in towards a disaster while others rushed away. We wouldn't be here but for those brave souls that have kept America free. And perhaps where you live, you can say that the same thing about your soldiers that many have died, and we will remember them on Memorial Day here in America. We remember their sacrifice. It's not about a barbecue, which is probably going to be rained out in a lot of spots, but it's about the people that that kept us free. And now we have a brood of vipers that are trying to take away our liberties and freedom and make America unrecognizable, soulless, godless people that have no respect for the Constitution, for holiness, or anything else. God save us from those brood of vipers. But many of them we elected. I didn't, but many people did. And we always get the kind of electors, politicians that we deserve. What can you say? Thanks for watching Worldwide Ramblings, everybody. Get that notification bell on. You never know when we will pop on. Sometimes it'll be a pre-recorded video. Other times we will be live at an odd hour with pop on to pop off. Hope you enjoyed this show. Watch the replay if you missed any. Go to the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. My personal email, Jack the Fair Guy, F-A-I-R, Jack the Fair Guy at gmail.com. I appreciate you. Thanks a lot.